He saved a tiny crown girl. Now the galaxy hunts them both. Ironhail lived far from the bright lanes of the galaxy. He chose the quiet edges where broken ships drifted and old wars were forgotten. He was a human, tall, thin, and careful. He spoke little, even to himself. His ship, a small salvage craft called the Drift Runner, moved slowly through the dark, scanning the remains of a long-dead battle. Metal shells floated like empty bones. Burn marks told stories of fear and fire. Aaron worked here because no one else wanted to. There were no flags, no politics, only silence and honest work. He collected parts, sold them, and left again. On this day, his sensors picked up something strange. Not debris, not a weapon, a weak life signal. Aaron frowned and adjusted the scan. The signal was small, very small. It came from an escape pod, half crushed and spinning without control. The pod was old, but not broken. Someone inside was still alive. Aaron sighed. Trouble always began like this. He guided the Drift Runner closer and matched speed. The pod was sealed, covered in deep scratches. The markings were not human. He did not recognize them. That made his chest feel tight. He could leave. No one would know. No one would blame him. Instead, he opened the airlock. Aaron pulled the pod inside and forced the hatch open. Cold air rushed out. Inside, curled in the corner, was a small alien girl. She was no taller than a human child of 6. Her skin was pale blue. Her eyes were large and silver. On her head rested a thin crown that looked grown, not worn. It glowed softly, like a living thing. She looked at Aaron and did not scream. She was shaking. Aaron slowly raised his hands, palms open. He spoke softly, using simple trade words. She did not understand. Still, she did not pull away. The pod's systems failed. If Aaron had arrived minutes later, she would have died. He wrapped her in a thermal blanket and carried her into his ship. She felt light, too light. Her heart beat fast. Aaron told himself he would drop her at the nearest station. That was all. No questions. No hero acts. The crown pulsed once. The Drift Runner's lights flickered. Aaron looked at the child. She looked back. Fear filled her eyes, but also trust, like she knew he would not hurt her. The ship's alarms went silent. Every system returned to normal. Aaron swallowed. He had seen strange things in space, but never this. Hours passed. The girl slept. Aaron watched his scanners. Nothing unusual. He relaxed slightly. Then the long-range alert sounded. Multiple scan beams swept the sector. Military grade. Aaron's jaw tightened. He cut his engines and drifted, hiding among the wreckage. Outside, ships moved like hunters. Their shapes were sharp and unfamiliar. Their signals were coded and fast. They were searching for something. The girl stirred and whimpered. The crown glowed brighter. One of the ships changed course. Aaron cursed under his breath and pushed power to his thrusters. The Drift Runner jumped forward, slipping between wrecks as weapons fire lit the dark. He did not fight back. He ran. The chase lasted minutes that felt like hours. At last, Aaron jumped into blind space, using an old route no one used anymore. Silence returned. Aaron leaned back, breathing hard. His hands shook. He looked at the girl again. "What are you?" he whispered. She woke fully now. She sat up, clutching the blanket. She touched the crown, then pointed at herself. "Lou?" she said softly. Aaron nodded. "Lou," he repeated. She pointed at him. He hesitated, then said his name, Iran. She smiled faintly. That smile hurt his chest more than fear ever had. Aaron altered course toward a neutral trade station called Grey Reach. It was old, slow, and mostly ignored. If anywhere was safe, it was there. During the journey, Lou spoke little. She ate simple food and watched everything. Sometimes the crown glowed without reason. Each time, Aaron's systems adjusted as if listening. As they approached Grey Reach, Aaron felt hope. Then, Grey Reach exploded. The station vanished in a flash of white and fire. Debris spread like rain. No warning signal, no survivors. Aaron pulled back fast, his heart pounding. Someone had destroyed the station. Recently, Lou cried out and clutched her head. The crown shone bright gold. A wave passed through space. Far away, 3 ships lost power and drifted dead. Aaron stared at the screens. His ship was untouched. He finally understood. The galaxy was not hunting him by mistake. They were hunting her. And now, because he had chosen to save a single small life, they were hunting him too. Aaron turned his ship away from known space. He did not know where he was going. He only knew one thing. He would not give her back. Not to anyone. Not to the galaxy. Aaron Hale steered the Drift Runner through dark space, keeping far from trade lanes and the usual patrols. The small girl, Lou, sat wrapped in a blanket, her silver eyes wide as the stars moved outside the viewport. The glow of her crown pulsed softly, lighting her pale blue skin. She seemed small and fragile, yet Aaron felt a strange power around her, something alive and dangerous. He had hoped Grey Reach Station would be safe, a neutral place where he could hand her over to someone who could hide her. That hope was gone. The explosion had made one thing painfully clear. No one wanted to shelter her, and many wanted her dead. Aaron stayed silent. He had learned in his long years among the stars that speaking too much could be dangerous. Lou, however, whispered sometimes, her voice soft and almost musical. "Stars," she said. "They listen." Aaron frowned. "What do you mean?" She only pointed to the glowing crown, then back at the drifting stars. Aaron did not understand, but he decided it was not the time to question her. Survival came first. For the next few days they drifted through unclaimed sectors. Aaron patched the ship and scavenged minor wrecks, careful not to attract attention. Each time the crown glowed, it felt like it was sending signals, but Aaron had no way to tell who might receive them. Whoever they were, he knew they were dangerous. On the 3rd day, a ship appeared on the long-range scanner. Its design was unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. Sharp, metallic, and black, reflecting the stars as it moved. Its engines left no trail, and it seemed to move without effort. Aaron's heart sank. The ship's scanners had locked onto his location before he could even respond. "Hide," he muttered to Lou, but she did not move. Instead, she looked at the approaching ship and reached for the crown. The ship suddenly stopped. Its lights flickered, and a warning pulse spread through space. Weapon systems shut down. Aaron stared at the screen, unable to comprehend what had happened. Lou looked at him and smiled faintly. "They know me," she said simply. Before Aaron could react further, a smaller craft appeared from the shadows. This one had a human shape inside its cockpit, though the pilot's face was hidden behind reflective armor. The craft moved closer, and a message echoed through the Drift Runner's comms, distorted but clear. "Human pilot," the voice said. You carry a child of the crown. Surrender her. You cannot hide. Aaron gripped the controls tightly. I will not, he said, though his voice shook. She is not yours. The comm went silent. The small craft waited, scanning. Aaron did not fire. He had no weapons that could reach it, and he did not want to provoke unnecessary destruction. He only wanted to run. Days passed. The black ship lingered at a distance, waiting. Aaron tried every trick he knew to shake it off. Blind jumps, drifting among asteroid fields, even hiding inside massive debris from a forgotten battle. Each time it found them. Finally, they were cornered near a system of dying stars. The black ship moved in silently, and the small craft approached. The armored figure jumped aboard the drift runner in a flash, weapons drawn. Aaron froze. Lou did not scream. She only stepped forward, crown glowing. The intruder froze as if seeing something terrible and powerful. Then he dropped his weapon. I will not hurt you, Aaron said cautiously. We just want to leave. The intruder looked at Lou, then back at Aaron. She is dangerous, he whispered. You cannot control her.
Neither can the galley.
They will kill us all to get her. Aaron shook his head. I am human. We survive.
That is all I know. The intruder hesitated, then lowered his head.
I am Kale, he said. I will help you. But know this, every fleet, every bounty hunter, every ruler with eyes in the stars, they are hunting both of you. You cannot trust anyone. Aaron eyed him carefully. He did not trust easily.
Why?
Help us. Kale looked at Lou. Because she should not be used as a weapon, he said.
And because humans, you are special. You resist things others cannot. Aaron did not understand fully, but he knew Kale spoke truth.
The intruder turned. Ally helped them navigate through hidden wormholes and dead sectors. He taught Aaron tricks to hide from the galaxy's eyes and warned them about patrol patterns that could mean death if they were seen. During the quiet moments, Kale explained the history of Lou's people. They were rulers long ago. Her line of royal blood capable of controlling ancient machines that could manipulate stars and energy itself. Many species had tried to destroy her family because of this. Now only Lou remained. Aaron listened, horrified and amazed. A child? He asked. They want her dead for what? Kale's eyes were hard. For survival. What? Power. Fear. All the reasons any species fights. Lou touched the crown and looked at Aaron. Her voice was soft. They want me. They want you. Aaron nodded. He had suspected as much, but hearing her words made it real. Over the next few weeks, they evaded fleets and patrols, moving through systems that had not seen life in centuries. Lou began to trust them both, leaning against Aaron during jumps, whispering strange phrases in her own language that made the crown glow softly. Kale taught Aaron how to read the signals from the crown, small pulses that could disrupt sensors and trackers. Each time they used it, Aaron was reminded how dangerous she was, even as she remained a small, frightened child in his arms. One night, in the dark of unlit space, they stopped near a planet with no atmosphere and little use. Aaron landed the drift runner in a shallow crater, knowing it was temporary but necessary. He wanted them to rest. Lou slept, exhausted from weeks of running. Kale sat nearby, reviewing the scans from their pursuers. They are everywhere, he said softly. But you are human. You are unpredictable. That is why you survive." Aaron stared at the stars. He had lived long enough to see greed, war, and death, but he had never seen anything like this. An innocent child, yet a key to the power of stars. And now the galaxy wanted them both dead. Suddenly the crown pulsed brighter than ever. The ship's systems went silent. Eron and Kale froze. The pulse was not a warning. It was a message. A fleet had found them. And it was coming fast. Aaron checked the sensors. Not just one fleet, but 3, all closing in. Kale cursed softly. "They can't all be here," he said. "Not this soon." Lou stirred. She looked at Aaron with wide eyes. "They see me?" Aaron's chest tightened. He had made a choice. Saved her when he could have left her. That choice had changed everything. Kale quickly plotted a new route. "We have one chance," he said. "We jump through the Black Drift corridor. It is unstable, dangerous. But if we succeed, we vanish from their scanners." Aaron nodded. "Do it!" The drift runner shuddered as the engines strained, jumping into the corridor. The stars stretched into long lines of light. The crown glowed fiercely, pulsing with energy that seemed to guide the ship. Aaron held Lou close, whispering, "We survive. That is all we know." Minutes stretched like hours as they raced through the collapsing space corridor. Rocks and energy waves threatened to tear the ship apart. Kale managed the navigation, sweat on his brow, eyes sharp. Then, silence. They emerged in a quiet sector, far from their pursuers. The drift runner was damaged but intact. Lou had fainted, exhausted. Aaron held her gently. Kale checked the scanners. No ships nearby. They were alive, for now. Kale looked at Aaron. "This is only the beginning," he said. "The galaxy will not forget. They will hunt her everywhere. And they will not stop." Aaron stared at Lou, asleep and fragile in his arms. "Then we keep running," he said, "no matter what." Outside, the stars were calm, but in the darkness beyond, unseen fleets began to move again. A child with a crown had changed the galaxy, and no one would rest until they claimed her. Aaron tightened his grip on the controls. He had saved her once. Now he would have to save her every day, against every star and every empire that wanted her, and he would not fail. Aaron Hale sat in the cockpit of the drift runner, eyes scanning the dark void ahead. Lou rested against his side, silent now after the exhausting escape through the Black Drift corridor. Her small chest rose and fell slowly, and the faint glow of her crown pulsed with the rhythm of her breathing. Kale Voss, sitting across the cabin, tapped on the ship's console, reviewing the sector maps and scanning for signs of pursuit. The galaxy had not stopped hunting them, and the weight of it pressed heavily on everyone inside the cramped ship.
"This sector is uncharted," Kale said quietly. "Few ships ever come here."
"We might have some time to rest, but it won't last long." Aaron nodded. "Time is all we need." He kept his hand on Lou's shoulder, careful not to wake her fully. "We keep moving. That is all we know." Kale glanced at him, her eyes narrowing. "You saved her. That makes you a target. But you are human. That matters more than you know." Aaron frowned. "Why? What makes humans different?" Kale hesitated, then spoke softly, almost to herself. "The crown does not obey humans. Every species it touches, it can control. But you resist. The galaxy feared humans once, long before you existed. They tried to erase your kind, and they failed. Aaron stared. He had lived a long life on the edge of known space, but he had never imagined humans had once been feared. And now? Now, Kale said, you are the only species that can protect her. Aaron swallowed hard. He had thought survival was enough. Now he understood survival carried a new responsibility. Days passed slowly. The Drift Runner glided silently through abandoned systems, hiding among asteroid belts and derelict satellites. Lou began to stir more often, her silver eyes watching every motion, every star. She had begun to understand more words, though she still spoke little. One night, as the ship drifted past a dying sun, Lou whispered, "I feel them." Aaron glanced at her. "Who?" "The hunters," she said, her voice trembling. "They are close." Kale's head snapped up. "Show me." She pointed to the crown, which now glowed brighter than before. Its light spread in delicate pulses, like waves, over the ship's control panels. "They can't reach her directly," Kale said, "but they can sense her presence, and they will come." Aaron tightened his grip on the controls. "We need to move. Fast." They set a course toward the fringe of an uncharted nebula, hoping the thick clouds of gas would hide them. But as they entered, sensors went haywire. The Drift Runner shuddered, lights flickering. Lou gasped softly, clutching the blanket around her. A sudden alarm sounded. The ship's scanners detected an unknown vessel emerging from the nebula. Its hull was jagged and black, reflecting no light, and its engines made no visible trail. Aaron cursed. "They found us." Kale swore under her breath. "It's Drex Malin, a warlord. He's hunting her too." Aaron's eyebrows shot up. "Who is he?" Kale leaned closer. "Drex Malin rules a private army. He is ruthless and clever. He wants her crown. If he captures her, he will use her power to control star machines and dominate half the systems near the rim." Aaron tightened his hands on the controls. "Then we can't let him catch her." The warlord's ship launched a series of small attack drones. They zipped through the nebula, scanning, hunting. Aaron maneuvered the Drift Runner through narrow spaces, dodging and weaving, using the crown's pulses as a shield. Each time it glowed, a drone would explode or lose power. Lou's small hands clutched the blanket, the crown shining brighter with each attack. Drex Malin's voice came over the comms, harsh and threatening. "Child of the crown, surrender. I will give you comfort and power beyond imagination. You will serve me, and the galaxy will obey you." Lou did not respond. She only glared, her crown pulsing fiercely. Euron gritted his teeth. He had not realized the crown could fight on its own until now. Kale's eyes widened. "She's activating defensive protocols." No one taught her this. It's in her blood. Aaron felt the ship shake as energy waves from the crown knocked the drones into each other. Lou's small voice rang out. "Go away!" The attack stopped. Silence fell. Drex's voice was strained. "Impossible." "How can a child?" Aaron whispered. "She isn't just a child." Kale nodded. "She is the last of her line, and the galaxy has forgotten what her people could do." For a few moments, they drifted, exhausted, but alive. Then Kale spoke. "We need to reach a safe system. There's a hidden human colony, forgotten and off maps. If we reach it, we can rest and plan." Aaron nodded. "Then we go. Now." The journey was tense. Every shadow in space seemed alive. Every sensor blip made their hearts race. Lou leaned against Aaron, trusting him completely. He held her close, feeling the pulse of the crown against his chest. When they finally arrived at the colony, it was hidden within a belt of dead asteroids, nearly invisible. Aaron landed the drift runner in a sheltered hollow. The human settlement was small, quiet, and wary of outsiders. The colonists looked at Lou with a mixture of awe and fear. Cale explained quickly. She is the last of her royal line. We need protection. We are not here to harm you. An elder man stepped forward, eyes sharp and calculating. A child of the crown? He asked. Do you know what that means? Cale nodded. I do. And that is why we need your help. The man studied Lou carefully. She sat on Iran's lap, crown glowing faintly, and the colonists felt its power even through walls and doors. The man spoke softly. If Drex Maline finds her, he will destroy everything in this belt. You brought danger here. Aaron's jaw tightened. We had no choice. We saved her. Now we survive. The elder sighed.
Then we hide. But know this.
He will not stop, and there are others worse than him. Aaron looked at Lou. She seemed so small, yet so powerful. Her crown pulsed with a steady rhythm, as if reassuring him. Cale leaned close to Aaron. We need to train her to understand her own power. She cannot remain a weapon for anyone else. Not Drex, not the galaxy. Only she can control it, and maybe only humans can protect her while she learns. Aaron nodded slowly. Then we'd do that. Whatever it takes. Days passed in quiet and secrecy. Aaron taught Lou the basics of survival in space, simple navigation, and scavenging. Cale explained more about the history of her people. Lou listened, absorbing the stories, her crown glowing faintly as she remembered more fragments. One evening, while watching the stars from a ridge overlooking the colony, Lou spoke clearly for the first time.
Humans, they are safe.
Aaron looked at her. We are safe for now, but we must keep moving. The galaxy will not forget you, she nodded. I feel power, but it hurts. Cale placed a hand on her shoulder. That is because it is more than your body. It is energy, older than the stars. It is dangerous to those who cannot control it, but you can. And with human protection, you have time to learn. Aaron stared at the horizon. The stars were calm, but he knew better. Out there, Drex Maline was planning. Fleets were moving, and the galaxy itself would not rest until Lou was claimed. The crown pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. Aaron held her close. We survive, he whispered, no matter what comes. That night, as the colony slept under the dim light of distant suns, Aaron, Lou, and Cale prepared for the battles ahead. They knew the galaxy would send stronger forces, smarter hunters and killers who would not hesitate. But for now, they rested. And in the silence, Lou dreamed. Her crown glowed faintly, signaling power that no one yet fully understood. A child with the strength of stars, protected by humans who were supposed to be ordinary, had changed the course of everything. The galaxy was hunting them. But Aaron, Hale, and Lou had already survived the impossible once, and they would survive again. Aaron Hale watched the stars pass by as the drift runner glided through a narrow channel between two dying planets. Lou sat close to him, her small body tense. The crown on her head pulsed softly, but more irregularly than before. She was learning, but she was tired. Every pulse of energy drained her a little more, and Erin feared what might happen if she exhausted herself too soon. Kale Voss studied the navigation console, eyes sharp. "We are approaching the edge of known space," she said. "There is a system here that has been unclaimed for centuries. Few species travel this far. It may give us time to plan." Erin nodded, but his hands remained tight on the controls. He had learned over the past weeks that no place was truly safe. Even the most hidden systems could be found if someone was determined enough. As they approached the system, a large vessel appeared on the scanners. Its hull was massive and elegant, with shapes that suggested power and authority. The markings were unknown to Erin, but he recognized the fear in Kael's eyes.
"They are waiting," she said quietly. "The High Speaker's fleet."
"This is not Drexmalin. This is someone more dangerous. Someone who commands the galaxy's alliance." Erin felt his chest tighten. He had suspected that more than one faction would want Lu, but now he understood the scale. This was no longer a local threat. The galaxy itself was moving against them. The High Speaker's voice came over the comms, calm but commanding. "Human pilot, you carry the last child of the royal line. Surrender her now. You cannot hide and you cannot resist. The galaxy will act to protect itself." Erin swallowed. "We will not surrender," he said firmly. "She is not a weapon for anyone to use. We will protect her or die trying."
The High Speaker's voice remained steady. "You misunderstand."
"This is not about fear or desire. This child holds power that could destroy us all if uncontrolled."
"We offer guidance, safety, and protection. Cooperate, and no harm will come to you or your species."
Erin clenched his jaw. "I don't trust anyone who threatens to kill us if I refuse." Kale whispered, "They are not bluffing. Erin, their fleets can wipe out entire systems. And they will do it, if they believe it is necessary." Lu shifted closer to Huron, her crown glowing faintly. "They lie," she whispered. Her voice was small, but it carried a weight that made both Erin and Kale pause. Erin glanced at her. "What do you mean?" "I remember," she said. "My people, they ruled with fear. Not peace. They lied. They used power to make others obey. The galaxy destroyed them because they were cruel. They don't want peace. They want control." Kale's face went pale. If she remembers, she is telling the truth. The High Speaker may believe they are protecting the galaxy, but their intention is the same as her people's long ago. They want her to be a tool. Erin's hands tightened on the controls. "Then, we do not go with them. We run." The High Speaker's fleet moved closer, cutting off escape routes. Erin realized that running was no longer simple. Every jump would be tracked, every maneuver anticipated. The galaxy had studied Lu, and now they studied him too. Kale leaned forward.
"We cannot fight them directly. Not yet."
"We need a plan that does not involve battle. We need to use her own instincts and the fact that humans are unpredictable." Erin nodded. "Then we find a way humans can survive where the galaxy cannot touch us. We use the fact that they cannot control her through us." As the Drift Runner drifted through asteroid fields, Kale guided them toward an old, abandoned station orbiting a dead planet. Its design was archaic, built before most of the current empires existed. Sensors barely detected it, and it had no active communication arrays. They landed the ship in the station's hangar, moving silently to avoid detection. Inside, the station was a labyrinth of empty corridors, silent chambers, and broken consoles. the perfect place to hide, at least for a short while. Lou moved slowly through the corridors, her small fingers brushing along the walls. She seemed tired but alert, her crown pulsing faintly. Aaron stayed close, ready to react. Kale examined the consoles, trying to bring the station's old systems online. "We can create false signals," Kyle said. "We can make it appear that we are somewhere else entirely. It will not last forever, but it buys us time." Aaron nodded. "Time is what we need." They set up the station, rerouting communications and activating hidden power nodes. Lou seemed to understand some of the processes instinctively, touching the crown to panels and causing small pulses of energy that helped power the systems. Kale watched, impressed, but wary. "Her control is growing," Kale said. "But she cannot fully manipulate it yet. If she overuses the crown, it could harm her." Aaron looked at her. "We must be careful then. Every choice matters." For days they lived in silence, repairing systems, preparing for the inevitable. The High Speaker's fleet had not yet arrived, but Aaron knew it was only a matter of time. Every second counted. Then Lou spoke, her voice small but clear. "I want to help. I can stop them." Aaron shook his head. "Not yet. You are still learning. You must control your power first. But if I wait," she said, "they will take me. They will use me." Kale put a hand on her shoulder. "She is right," she said softly. "We cannot wait too long. But we must be smart. Humans have a gift here. We can survive in ways others cannot."
We must use that.
Aaron nodded slowly. "Then we prepare. We do not give ourselves away. We protect you until you are ready." Outside, sensors flickered. The High Speaker's fleet had located the station. Massive ships emerged from the darkness, surrounding the dead planet with silent menace. Aaron felt the tension tighten in his chest. Every second was dangerous. Every second was dangerous. Every move could reveal them. Kale studied the fleet. "They do not understand humans," she said. "They follow patterns, rules, logic. Humans, we do not obey those limits."
That is our advantage. Aaron's jaw tightened.
"Then we use it." They moved quickly, preparing escape routes, activating hidden boosters and reinforcing the station's shields. Lou watched, her crown glowing steadily, as if sensing the danger outside. The High Speaker's voice came over the comms again. "Child of the crown, surrender yourself. Do not make this harder than it must be. The galaxy will protect you, and you will serve with honor." Aaron's hands tightened. "We will not surrender," he said. "We protect her, that is all." Kale nodded.
"Then we survive, and we use what humans do best."
Imagination, improvisation, and stubbornness. The fleet moved closer. Energy pulses lit the void as their sensors scanned the station. The drift runner remained hidden, and the old station seemed abandoned. Then Lou reached out, placing her small hands on the crown. It glowed brightly, sending a pulse that traveled through space. Sensors on the approaching fleet went haywire. Systems failed. Communications were jammed. The ships floundered, unable to find their target. Aaron stared at the screens. "She did that?" Kale nodded. "Partly instinct, partly power. She is learning. And she is human proof. No one else can resist this level of energy control." For a moment, silence fell. The High Speaker's fleet drifted, confused and powerless. Aaron felt a surge of hope, but Kale's voice was low and serious. "They will not give up. Not now. Not ever. The galaxy wants her, and they will send stronger forces. We cannot stay here forever. Aaron looked at Lou, asleep against his chest now. Her small face was calm, but he knew she carried the weight of the galaxy on her shoulders. We move at night, he said softly. We do not wait for them to find us again. We use the shadows, the stars, and our human wits. That is all we have. Lou stirred, eyes opening. We run? Aaron nodded. We survive. That is all we can do. Kale smiled faintly. And humans always find a way. The next hours were spent preparing the drift runner for a jump. Every system was checked, every panel monitored. Lou's crown glowed steadily, a small light in the darkness, a guide and a weapon all in one. When the moment came, they left the station silently, drifting through asteroid fields, using the nebulae and debris to hide their path. The high speaker's fleet searched endlessly, but they could not predict the human unpredictability. Aaron guided the ship with care, Kale at the consoles, and Lou resting, her crown dimming as she slept. For a brief moment they felt safe, but deep in the galaxy, unseen eyes watched. The high speaker would not forget. Drex Maline and others would continue their hunt. The galaxy was vast, but it had a single target now, a small crowned girl and the human who had saved her. And Aaron Hale knew, as he looked at Lou, that the fight was only beginning. They survived once. They would survive again. But the galaxy would test them, harder than ever before. Aaron Hale watched the stars pass by, feeling the tension tighten in his chest. The drift runner moved silently through dark space, carrying Lou, the small crowned girl, and Kale Voss. They had survived countless hunts and attacks, but now the danger was greater than ever. Word of Lou's power had spread through the galaxy. Fleets, warlords, and hunters all wanted her. Some wanted to control her. Some wanted her dead. Kale studied the scanners, eyes narrowed. The fleet is converging on a massive ancient station, she said. It is old, older than the current galaxy's records. Whoever controls it controls immense energy. They plan to force her to activate it. Aaron clenched his fists. Even if it costs everything. Lou sat quietly in the corner, small and pale, but her crown glowed faintly. She had grown stronger, but the weight of her responsibility was heavy. She could sense the fleet's gathering, the energy of the station calling to her. Kale whispered, "This is no simple battle. The Alliance will try to use her, not kill her. But if they succeed, the power they unleash could destroy hundreds of systems. Only humans can act here. No other species can access the core systems without destroying themselves." Aaron looked at her. "Then we are the only chance. We fight. We survive. And we protect her." They approached the station carefully. Its shape was massive, stretching across kilometers of space. It pulsed faintly with energy, like a heartbeat. The fleet surrounded it. Massive warships cutting off every approach. Aaron adjusted the drift runner's shields. "We need a plan." Kale nodded. "We go in stealth. Humans are small, fast, and unpredictable. We bypass the main defenses and enter through the forgotten maintenance docks. It is the only way to reach the core and protect her." "My," Lou stepped forward, crown glowing softly. "I can help," she said, her voice weak but determined. "I feel the power. I can guide you." Aaron nodded. "Then we do it together." "Aaron, but we move carefully. One mistake, and it is over." The drift runner slipped past the outer sensors, using shadows and debris to hide its path. The ancient station loomed above them, dark and massive, with corridors and docking bays abandoned for centuries. The smell of old metal and silence filled the interior as they docked in the maintenance area. Kale led the way, her blaster ready. Aaron followed, Lou between them, small and glowing. Every step echoed through the empty halls. They could hear the distant hum of the station's energy core, pulsing with immense power. As they moved deeper, they encountered the first of the Alliance soldiers. Kale fired quickly, disabling them with precision. Aaron moved silently, using the environment to his advantage, showing the instincts that made humans so unpredictable. Lou touched her crown to the walls and panels, pulsing energy that short-circuited sensors and doors. They reached a massive chamber at the heart of the station. The energy core of the station glowed with blinding light. The floor was metallic, smooth, and endless, leading up to massive consoles and control panels. The Alliance fleet's presence was felt even here. They had stationed automated drones and guards to protect the chamber, anticipating Lou's arrival. Kale whispered, "This is it. The station responds to her. If they force her to control it, the energy will destroy everything nearby. We must act fast." Aaron held Lou close. "Are you ready?" She nodded, small hands gripping his. "I will try." The first wave of drones advanced. They moved quickly, mechanical, precise. Aaron led them, using human ingenuity to evade attacks, slipping through gaps, using shadows, and improvising defenses. Kale followed, disabling security systems, while Lou's crown glowed brighter with each step, sending pulses that disrupted drones and sensors. The second wave arrived, this time larger and more powerful. They blocked the only exit, forcing the humans to fight smarter, not harder. Aaron felt his pulse quicken. Every movement was a gamble. Every decision mattered. Lou's crown pulsed violently, energy waves knocking drones off balance. She concentrated, small fingers touching panels and surfaces, causing doors to lock behind them and traps to activate ahead of the attackers. Iran marveled at her instinctive control, but he feared her strength. Too much energy could harm her. Kale shouted, "We need to reach the core, now!" They moved quickly, slipping through corridors and side passages. The energy from the station pulsed through Lou, her crown glowing like a miniature sun. The Alliance drones pursued them, relentless. But humans, small and resourceful, found ways to slip through, hidden vents and narrow passages that machines could not navigate. Finally, they reached the central chamber. The station's main console stretched before them, glowing with untold energy. Lou stepped forward, crown shining brightly. Aaron placed his hand on hers. "You are in control."
Only you. You decide.
She looked up at him, silver eyes full of determination. Then she placed both hands on the main console. Energy surged through her crown, pulsing into the station. Machines whirred, lights flashed, and alarms rang. The Alliance soldiers outside struggled to maintain control, but the human team moved with purpose. Aaron and Kale worked quickly, disabling security systems and creating safe paths. The humans acted with precision, improvisation, and courage. They were small, but they were unstoppable in their determination. The station began to respond to Lou, but the energy was overwhelming. She cried out softly, hands glowing, body trembling. Aaron held her close, whispering encouragement. Kale monitored systems, redirecting power to prevent overload. The drones outside began to malfunction, energy surges knocking them offline. The Alliance fleet, observing from orbit, realized they could not force control remotely. The station was responding to a human presence, unpredictable and impossible to manipulate. Lu's crown pulsed one final time. The energy surged outward, but this time she controlled it fully. The Alliance drones were disabled, their weapons offline, and the energy core stabilized. The station's immense power was now neutral, no longer a weapon for anyone. Lu collapsed into Aaron's arms, exhausted but alive. Kale checked the systems, nodding. She did it. She controlled the station and stopped them from using it. The energy is safe. For now. Aaron held Lu, feeling the weight of relief. They had survived again, but the galaxy was still hunting. Drex Malin, the High Speaker, and countless others would not give up easily. Lu whispered weakly, "It is done?" "For now," Aaron said softly, "you are safe. We protected you. That is all that matters." Kael looked at both of them, expression serious. "The galaxy will not forget. But humans, you have shown what humans can do. Ingenuity, courage, and stubbornness. The Alliance underestimated you, and you won today." Aaron nodded. He looked at Lu, crown dimmed, but still faintly glowing. "We survive. That is all we know." Outside, the fleet retreated, unable to force control over the station. Energy readings showed the core stable, its immense power no longer a threat. Humans had acted where others could not. They had saved a child and prevented a galaxy-wide catastrophe. For a brief moment, silence returned. The drift runner hovered near the station, engines quiet. Iran, Lu, and Kale rested, knowing the danger was not over, but victory had been won. The human team had acted with courage, intelligence, and heart. They had turned the tide, showing that survival depended not on strength alone, but on will, creativity, and the protection of those who mattered.
Lu stirred, crown pulsing softly.
She looked at Aaron, a small smile on her face. We did it?" Aaron nodded. "Yes, we did it." Together, Kale smiled faintly. "And the galaxy learned something important today. Humans are not to be underestimated, not ever." They prepared to leave the station, knowing new dangers would follow. But for the first time, there was hope. A child with a crown, a human who saved her, and allies who believed in survival had changed the course of the galaxy. The stars stretched before them, endless and waiting. Aaron tightened his grip on the controls. Lu rested against him, faint glow of the crown lighting the cabin. Kale watched the scanners, alert for any sign of pursuit. And far across the galaxy, unseen eyes noted the event. Fleets would regroup. Plans would be made. But one thing was clear. Humans had survived the impossible, and their courage had saved not only a child, but the galaxy from destruction. Aaron Hale whispered, quiet but firm, "We survive." "That is all we know." Lu smiled faintly, crown dimmed but steady. "We survive," she echoed. For now, that was enough. Aaron Hale watched the stars through the drift runner's viewport, his hands resting lightly on the controls. The galaxy was quieter now, but he knew the calm would not last. Fleets had retreated, and the massive ancient station had been stabilized, but the forces that hunted Lu, the small crowned girl, would regroup. They always did. Lu sat in the corner of the cockpit, small and pale, crown gone. Its glow had faded completely after the final surge of power in the station's core. She looked fragile now, just a child again. But Erin could feel the weight of everything she had endured. She had survived forces no other being could withstand. She had controlled power older than stars, and she had chosen to live, not to destroy. Cale Voss studied the navigation console quietly. She made it, she said softly. The crown is gone, but she survived. That alone changes everything. Aaron nodded. The crown was a weapon.
Now she is just herself, but the galaxy will still hunt.
They see her as dangerous, even without it.
Lou looked up at him.
Me? Her voice was small, unsure. Yes, Aaron said gently. You are yourself. That is enough. They drifted through space, moving far from known lanes and trade routes. Aaron plotted courses through sectors rarely touched by anyone. They needed time, safety, and a chance to think. Days passed quietly. Lou recovered slowly, her strength returning. Cale taught her simple ways to understand her own instincts, not the crown, but her mind and body. She learned that survival depended on patience, observation, and trust. Humans, Cale explained, had an advantage the galaxy could not take away: creativity and will. One evening, drifting near the edge of a dim star cluster, Lou asked quietly, "Will they come back?" Aaron looked at her, a faint sadness in his eyes. "Yes, they will, but we will be ready. And we will survive again. That is all we know." Cale added, "And humans do not give up. That is why we protect her. Not because of crowns or fleets, but because of who she is and who we are. We survive. That is our strength." Lou nodded, small hands gripping the edge of her seat. The stars reflected in her silver eyes, and for a moment she seemed free, unburdened by power, fear, or the expectations of the galaxy. Weeks passed. The Drift Runner moved through uncharted sectors, hiding among asteroid fields and abandoned colonies. Aaron and Cale worked tirelessly to keep them hidden, using old human ingenuity to mislead scanners and trackers. Lou learned more about herself, not as a weapon, but as a child who could survive and think, who could make decisions, and who could trust others. One morning, while scanning a quiet system, Aaron noticed unusual signals. A fleet far in the distance, moving slowly but with purpose. Not Drex Malin, not the High Speaker, but another force. Unknown, powerful, and watching. Cale frowned. They are aware of her. The galaxy is always watching now, even if they cannot reach us immediately.
Aaron tightened his jaw. Then we move. Always move.
They decided to land on a small hidden planet. It was barren, quiet, and overlooked by all charts. They landed the Drift Runner in a deep valley, hidden by rocks and dust storms. The planet was harsh, but for humans, survival was possible. They could find water, shelter, and food. Lou stepped out cautiously, looking at the dull sky. "I am, safe?" Aaron smiled faintly. "For now. But we will make it better. We protect you, and we survive." Cale prepared their temporary shelter, teaching Lou how to move silently, forage, and remain alert. She learned to trust her instincts, not her crown, not machines, not anyone else. Only herself and the humans protecting her. Days turned into weeks. Lou grew stronger, her confidence returning. Aaron watched her closely, proud and worried at the same time. Every day was a balance between caution and freedom. Then, one day, distant sensors picked up unusual energy patterns. Nothing direct, nothing immediate, but enough to alert them. Someone was testing the boundaries, probing. Kale studied the readings. It is faint, but deliberate. They are measuring her presence, sensing for any trace of her. The galaxy never forgets. Even without the crown, they see her as a threat. Aaron nodded. Then we move again, always forward.
Always human. Lou looked at him. Why do humans
survive? Aaron smiled faintly. Because we do not follow rules that bind others. We think, we feel, we take risks. We survive when others fail because we are unpredictable. That is why you trust us, and that is why we will protect you. Kyle added, and humans have heart. Not weapons, not fleets, but heart. That is more powerful than any crown. For a moment, Lou smiled, a small, genuine smile. She understood, in a simple way, what humans could do. She had survived because of them, and she would continue to survive because of them. But the galaxy was patient. From the shadows, fleets observed, strategies formed, and bounties persisted. Unknown forces would continue to move. The galaxy had tasted the danger of a child free of control and would not easily forget. Aaron, Lou, and Kale prepared to leave the planet quietly, slipping past energy scans and patrol routes. The drift runners, small and unarmed, moved through the dark void. They had no grand fleet, no weapons of mass destruction, but they had each other and the instinct to survive. As they moved, Lou reached out to Aaron. I feel free. Aaron looked at her, silver eyes meeting his. You are free, and we will protect that freedom. Kale watched the stars ahead, calm but alert. The galaxy may follow, but it will never understand humans. That is our advantage. That is why we survive. For a long time they drifted in silence, each of them aware that the calm was temporary. The galaxy would hunt, factions would rise, and threats would come. But humans were resilient, and a small girl, once a crown bearer, had survived against impossible odds. Lou looked at the stars and whispered, I am just me now. Aaron nodded. Yes, just you. That is enough.
Kale smiled faintly. And humans will be ready.
The drift runner moved forward, slipping into the darkness, small and quiet. Stars stretched endlessly ahead. The galaxy waited, but humans had survived impossible hunts before, and they would survive again. Far across the void, unseen eyes observed the tiny ship, fleets moving, planning, plotting. The hunt was not over, but one lesson had been learned. Humans, with heart, courage, and stubbornness, were unpredictable, and a child who had once commanded the stars could now choose her own path, free from crowns, free from control, and protected by those who would survive no matter what. Aaron tightened his grip on the controls, Lou resting against him, her small hand in his. Kale watched the scanners, alert and ready. The galaxy would continue to watch, but humans had shown the impossible. Lou's crown was gone, her power unclaimed, but her presence alone had changed the galaxy's view. Humans were not just survivors, they were protectors. They acted where others could not, defied expectation, and preserved life in the face of destruction. The drift runner moved silently, far from fleets, far from the battles, carrying its small passengers into uncharted space. For now, there was peace. For now, there was survival. But Aaron knew the stars beyond would always wait, always watch. The galaxy would send new hunters, new challenges, new tests, and the humans, small but resilient, would meet them. Lou looked at Iran and whispered, "We survived." Iran smiled faintly.
Yes, and we will survive again.
That is all we know. The stars stretched endlessly, the drift runner moving forward. A small child, once a crown bearer, a human protector, and a former intelligence officer had changed the galaxy. The galaxy now understood one thing: humans could not be controlled. They could not be predicted. And they would survive. Far in the dark, unseen forces stirred, aware of the tiny ship that had defied them. But for now, Aaron, Lou, and Kale moved on, small, simple, human, and free. The galaxy watched. The hunt would continue. But the lesson had been learned. Survival, heart, and courage were more powerful than any crown. And humans had all three. For Aaron Hale, Lou, and Cale Voss, the journey was far from over. But for the first time, they felt the simple truth of space. The future belonged to those who survived, and they would survive.